They tell him, you know how men can be. And I know I got about 4 right there, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I got 10 men in the room. Okay, I know these men, they can hold their own. But you know how it is. He consulted these 10 men in the room. And they said, now, look here. Now, it would have been different if y'all had this little conversation and y'all was in your private quarters. But, she done refused to come to you, and you got all these hundreds of people who are witnessing this. Now, we just, the man said, Now, you see, we just can't have this woman to defy you publicly. Now, that they tried to make it seem like they had his back. But then they said, because you see, if Queen Vashti can defy you, the king, then that tells these other women that they don't have to do what we ask them to do. And we just can't have that. Now, if you want to do it, that's on you. But we can't have that. And he's thinking, okay, now, because they made decisions when they were drinking. We don't make decisions when we're drinking. We hope our politicians don't. But that's the way they did back then, Ooh, I thought about that. We don't know what our politicians do. We wonder about those decisions, but I digress. And so, he's got all this pressure. He's already angry. And then they giving him a way out. We can't have this. We can't have this. So he says, okay, I'm going to issue a royal decree. She thinks she's all that in a bag of chips. I'm going to prove to her what bag of chips she is. She's an off-brand, and I like brand. So his decree said that he was going to banish her. And she's never to appear in his presence again. And, of course, this is Persia, but, I like Egypt. So let it be said, so let it be done. And that was it. Okay? So she was never to be seen again. Well, the party ends because it's 7 days, and that was on the 7th day. So the party ends. He's getting sober now. And so, he's kind of feeling some kind of way. You know how it is. We tell the person, I don't want to see you no more. And then, after you get through being angry, you want to see him again. So anyway, he's having second thoughts. And so his servants, they realize he's having second thoughts. And so they're like, let's just go and look at all the virgins. We'll start recruiting virgins, and we'll get them prepared for you, and we'll have the next Queen of Persia contest, okay? So his attendants went out. They started recruiting people. You would have thought it was American Idol. And so they started bringing all these virgins, and, they're like, okay, we're going to get them prepared for him, okay? Well, at the same time, there was Esther over in the distance. Now, she was a Jew, and she had been raised by her cousin Mordecai because her parents were deceased. Well, she was pretty. They tell me she had a nice figure. You can tell right there she's pretty. She had a nice figure, and so she was selected also. But it was something about Esther, something about being a work in progress, okay? And so, God was preparing her. And, this book is a little different because God's name's not mentioned in Esther, but he was in the mix. And so Esther is selected. She's recruited. She's selected. But she found favor with Haggai. Now, ain't it good to find favor with somebody? And so after finding favor, that meant that she got the best of everything. She got the best room. She got the best service, the best hairstylist. When they were doing the oil treatments for 6 months, she always got her oil treatment first.